in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter.
And impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
To the seat of power, Delhi.
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV. 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World.
Cancer and other non-communicable diseases across the country have now made it the cancer capital of the world. The report says that the number of cancer cases is expected to rise at a rate that will surpass global averages. Another report from the Indian Council of Medical Research says that 1 in every 9 persons in our country is at risk of developing cancer in his or her lifetime. Despite the high risks, cancer screening rates are abysmally low in India, only at 1%. Looking for cancers much before any symptoms occur is called cancer screening. According to the World Health Organization, cancer screening can contribute to avoiding as many as 30 to 50% of cancer cases. So why isn't it more prevalent? And what is its role in improving cancer outcomes? To discuss that, we are joined today by Dr. Pankaj Goyal, Senior Consultant Medical Oncology, Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute and Research Center, Rohini, Dr. Ankur Bahl, Senior Director Medical Oncology, Fortis Memorial Research Institute, Gurugram, Dr. Shashank Mittal, Director, Action Cancer Hospital, and Dr. Bakulesh Khamar, Executive Director, Cadila Pharmaceuticals. Dr. Goyal, let's start at the very beginning. As practicing oncologists, are you seeing a palpable rise in cancer cases, and why do you think this is happening?
I think over past 1 decade, I can see that the number of patients what we see are really increasing. And just for the stance, if you see that over past 10 years, you see how many new cancer hospitals are coming up. And still in another 5 years, we'll see they will be, I think, doubling up. That is the quantum of patients that we are getting. And I think there are multiple reasons you talk about. Like you talk about pollution, talk about our eating habits, talk about whatever we are eating, whatever we are drinking. Everything is having some sort of chemicals mixed in that, I should say, or maybe fertilizers. So all these factors are adding up, and now more people are coming forward to get them investigated if they have symptoms. So number of cases have definitely increased over past 1 decade, and we see further rise. And the only solution, I think, what you are talking about is that timely screening.
Dr. Mittal, what are some of the barriers when it comes to early cancer diagnosis and treatment in our country?
So majority of the patients come very late to us.
Yeah.
They are either going for alternative treatment. They have myths among them that if they get the biopsy done, the cancer will spread, or the relatives and the friends misguide them by hearsay stories about some other patient. So they don't come early to us, and hence early stages we often miss and they come in later stages.
So I think early stages here is critical. Of course, screening also, and immediately when you get to know, I think what you're trying to say, Dr. Mittal, is like go to the doctor immediately and start what needs to be done. Dr. Bahl, how does regular screening help in detecting cancer early? And does it help in making treatment more manageable and less costly? And what are the cancers commonly detected through screenings?
So, of course, you said that screening in our population is, we all oncologists recommend, but the general population is not getting the theme of it. So screening is not done in patients, it is done in a normal population. And people need to understand that early we detect, more cure rate we get. As Dr. Sushant said, that 75 to 80% of our practice is stage 4 of any cancer. But if you screen at right time, in a right sex, at a right age, then you detect a very early, say, breast cancer or cervical cancer or a colon cancer or a lung cancer. Then the earlier you do, the early stage you pick up and more cure you get. So unfortunately, our country is living in a double standard. So when we blame that we have got stage 4 and we are not getting cured, but we are not following the principles of screening. A normal population should screen themselves for an early detection, and when it is early detected, you go to your nearest cancer center and get treated. So that's a right message. Please screen. All our mothers, sisters should be screened. All a high risk population should be screened. Get early and get cured. That's a mantra for cancer.
I think a very important message from here is that screening is not just for patients, it's for the population, for the general people to go well in time and screen so that if it's detected, it could be treated. Dr. Khamar, people in India find cancer care to be inaccessible and unaffordable. Now, there is a need for Indian pharma companies to produce cancer treatments and therapies that are affordable for a vast majority of patients. How does Kerala respond to this need?
So let me clarify. Cancer care essentially revolves around intent to cure and intent to palliation. For intent to care, pharmaceutical industry does not have any role except some peripherally support system where you require some antibiotic, nutritional products, some fluids. Essentially involves surgery and or radiotherapy. There is no role for cancer therapy for intent to cure for majority of the cancer patients. Drugs used are mainly for palliative intent when the cancer has spread extensively and you want to prolong the life of a person. Now, in India, all generic products, including cancer products, are most inexpensive in the world. And this is true for even innovative products coming from multinational companies. Multinational companies also keep their price lowest in the India compared to rest of the world. Then coming to the affordability for the Indian population, affordability is essentially related to the economical status of a patient, insurance company, government, and healthcare providers, which includes doctors, hospitals, and NGOs or charitable organizations. Government of India fixes the price for all the drugs, and then it has started Ayushman Bharat, which covers majority of the cancer drugs as well as cancer treatment. So Government of India is trying to make it affordable to those people. Now coming from India, Kerala, what we are trying to do is, since innovative products are more expensive, we are trying to make innovative products, get it approved in India and sell it at a reasonably low price. And we can keep the price low compared to other companies or MNCs because we don't charge our development cost and cost of failure on approval of a product. So this is how we try to help the Indian population.
Dr. Mittal, we've been talking about why the screening is less and why is it important. So what explains this very low 1% figure for cancer screening, and how do we create awareness around the need for it, because we clearly know that it is critical?
We need to tell the general population via various awareness campaigns such as media, print media, interviews like this, at the grassroots level, in the various society talks, RWA talks, at school level, college level, where we can cater larger population as well as the teachers and the students, elderly population in societies, wherever we get a chance to spread this message, even in our hospital, for the class 4 worker, for the technicians who are not in medical field but are associated with the hospital, we try and create awareness to them that screening is important and how it can be done. Simple blood test, ultrasound, mammography, pap smear, PSA test can help us to pick early stages, and that is all what we have been trying to do. Nevertheless, more and more awareness needs to be provided to the general population.
Okay, thank you for
at
that.
an economical cost.
Yes, I mean, yeah, actually very important economical costs. And Dr. Bahl, just coming to you because Dr. Mittal told us the steps for awareness. But Dr. Bahl, what steps should the government take to make mass screenings more accessible for both urban and rural populations in India, and also for, trained personnel like Dr. Mittal was telling us about?
So I think communication is the key here. So a normal population, a normal community, both in rural and in urban, in their state language, in their local language, should understand the importance. Once the community level worker, where it is an Anganwadi worker or a general practitioner or a local physician or any doctor who is practicing in that district or in that state, should understand and just reciprocate to the community that if you do this test, you will be cured of the disease. You will get the disease in an early stage. So there have been literature and then experience in our rural district. The Bashi district has proven that the pap smear test, the local cervical hygiene, and followed by the vaccines in metro have clearly said that over the decades, over 5 decades, cervical cancer is a leader in this example. That if you screen well, your mortality will goes down. Since independence, our cervical cancer vaccination and pap smear examination and a local hygiene has clearly shown that if you do this, your mortality will decrease. So economic burden of a country can be tackled very well if we detect that disease in an early stage. And I would clearly say that communication between a healthcare worker and a local population is the key. If you synchronize it well, make them understand in their local language, not in a scientific language, then people will adopt screening. And if they don't adopt screening, do not make them eligible for an Ayushman or a golden card or an health insurance. So what Western population is doing, you have this is mandatory. If you do it, then only you're eligible for a next year. So if we make it like a norm, then people will follow it. At least if we can touch down 30% of our population, the mortality and the economic burden will go so much down in our country that we'll be able to treat many of them who have the disease rather than those who do not. So prevention is the key in cancer as compared to cardiovascular and any other disease.
Yes, absolutely. We're talking about preventive screening and how that helps, detect cancer early, which means better treatment and health outcomes. This is why it is crucial to get yourself regularly screened for cancer. You're watching India Health Mission. More questions for our doctors on the other side of a short break. So stay tuned.
The moment I saw it, I thought I will have to come here.
I'm loving it. An experience to remember for a lifetime.
जानू ना मुझको कैसे है पा लिया इस शहर ने, लापता था मैं पहले, अपना लिया इस शहर ने, शोर भी लगे एक दिन की तरह।
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
And impact your life.
news that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
To the seat of power, Delhi.
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries. Shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
The moment I saw it, I thought I will have to come here.
I'm loving it. An experience to remember for a lifetime.
जानू ना मुझको कैसे है पा लिया इस शहर ने लापता था मैं पहले अपना लिया इस शहर ने शोर भी लगे एक दिन की तरह
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter.
And impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
To the seat of power, Delhi.
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV. 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting.
Welcome back. You're watching India Health Mission, and we have our experts here telling us the importance of screening well in time. Dr. Bahl, this question is for you. How do I get a cancer screening test? Is it a part of any of the standard health checkup packages that hospitals and diagnostic centers offer? Because very often, as general population, we don't know what steps one is supposed to take if you want to get a regular screening done.
So you will be astonished to know that the National Cancer Control Program was way established 50 years back. So take an example, if I'm 50 and I'm a female, so I need to go for a breast screening, which is a mammography. I need to go for a cervical smear, which is called as a pap smear. So the breast cancer detection test, which is called as mammography, is available everywhere, every district of the country. The pap smear is the basic test which a gynecologist can do anywhere in a local setup. And if you are a smoker and you are willing to quit, so then a low-dose CT scan of the chest is need of an hour. India has not adopted till now, but I believe in 1 decade it will. If you are above 50 years old, if you are a male, do get your colonoscopy once in 10 years. And other cancers like prostate cancer and all can be detected with a simple test. So the guidelines are made already. We just need to communicate age, sex, and disease type. So just follow it. It's there everywhere. You Google it and you will get the screening guidelines. But the question is, please follow them. It's not revising guideline in our mind. Everybody who is not even educated or uneducated can hear these guidelines very well. Just adopt them and bring down the burden of cancer in my country. That is what I want to say.
I think a very critical point. Guidelines are there. Everything is in place. It's about, I think, spreading awareness, communicating
50 years
more.
back, it was well established, National Cancer Control Program.
Yeah, and today we're the cancer capital. So clearly, we need to start moving towards making a difference. And it's just screening. I think we need to start with that. Dr. Khamar, considering the rising incidence of cancer and what we've been discussing, how can public and private players come together to ramp up preventive screening?
So first is screening does not prevent the cancer. Screening helps you in early diagnosis of a cancer, at which stage it is amenable to surgery and it can be cured. So this is a basic premise which everybody should understand. And we as a country with the economic status in which we are for a large population, we should first focus on what is doable by us rather than going by Western standard. Our number one killer is a head and neck cancer or oral cancer, and it can be prevented by simple change in habits, which is chewing tobacco. We are not doing adequately for chewing tobacco. We are trying to tax cigarettes, which is smoking, but we are not doing significantly as a society or as a government or as an NGO to minimize chewing of tobacco and tobacco-related cancers. So our focus should be on simpler measures like changing the social trends and habits of the individual, preventing or minimizing chewing of tobacco. Similarly, number two is a breast cancer. Breast cancer, mammography is around the world, but it is not within the reach of everybody. But that's little higher level. But at a lower level is a self-examination by individual, which somebody can be trained and do on herself every month. And then periodic checkup by healthcare provider. In the current standard, even if you get diagnosis of a breast cancer where it is around 1 inch or 2.5 centimeter or 2 centimeter in size, it can still be cured by surgery. So it's not necessary that we have to diagnose a cancer at in situ. So this, according to me, is a cost-effective measure which can go a long way compared to what we are today. Similarly, number three cancer is a cervical cancer, and it can be prevented by effective use of vaccines, HPV vaccine, which is not widely used in our country. So if you take care of this challenges by the suggestions I have made, all the three major cancers can be made less prevalent. Then the next point is that we can always identify who are high-risk people, those who run in the families. So if your family members are affected by cancer, you should have a more regular checkup. So that will also help you in early diagnosis and cure of a cancer. For a male member, that's the next high incidence cancer in our country, which is a prostate cancer. There's a simple thing. You get your prostate-specific antigen blood test done every year. And if it is found to be high, you undergo health checkup. And if required, if the diagnosis is right, then you undergo surgery. So these are some simple measures which can be easily adopted in our country. And what we can do as a society is we can try to educate people around these simple measures and make something available at affordable cost by charitable organizations, NGOs, and government. Say, for example, routine health checkup is not being done in our country. But if we establish routine health checkup and have a prostate-specific antigen test included, it will reduce the number of prostate cancer being dangerous at the time of diagnosis. The problem in India is cancers are diagnosed very late. It is not that they are not diagnosed, but they are diagnosed very late. And when the cancers are diagnosed very late, there's only one option, and that is a palliative intent. You can't cure the patient. A patient can't undergo surgery.
Dr. Goyal, last word to you. Many barriers can be overcome, structural awareness, cost. How do we overcome the social and cultural barriers that have to do with cultural norms? And, sometimes, like you rightly, all of you said, there's fear, there's embarrassment regarding screening.
The ground reality is that in our Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Hospital, if new patients registered, we give some free coupons to the attendant, and we also educate them that how it will help, and also how the previous speaker has just discussed about that it should be a part of a medical fitness. So when you get a medical cover, then it should be mandatory that you get it done. Apart from that, if you get it done mandatory for some like government jobs or maybe some private jobs, then everyone is ready to do. But if that is not the case, then even if you give free of cost, there are not many takers. So again, the importance is the communication, as Dr. Ankur Bahl has rightly said, that you have to discuss it out. That is nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, you should discuss it out with your family. That this is the test that which you are required to get it done. So after 50 years of age, we not talk about guidelines. We not talk about a lot of things. Bare minimum is that you get a screening for cervical cancer. That is simply a pap smear, and mammogram is nothing, just an X-ray of the breast. So that is the bare minimum which we can do, and that will have a big impact, because in female patients, these are the major two culprits if we talk about cancer.
Well, thank you all so much, doctors, for joining us today. It's really quite simple. Cancer screening can save lives. Cancer caught early can be cured. It is very important for each one of us to be as aware of the need for cancer screening as we are of any other health test that we get done regularly. Now, genetics is not the only factor. Many other risks are now contributing to the rise in cancer cases in India. And it is early screening that will help control the situation before it assumes epidemic proportions. You're watching India Health Mission. Thank you so much for being with us.
The moment I saw it, I thought I will have to come here.
I'm loving it. An experience to remember for a lifetime.
जानू ना मुझको कैसे है पा लिया इस शहर ने लापता था मैं पहले अपना लिया इस शहर ने शोर भी लगे एक दिन की तरह
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital, Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
have been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aarti Krishnan. If you've been troubled by traffic in the national capital, the government may have a solution for you. You can call us and share your thoughts on the development as well. First, the headlines. Delhi government is considering slapping congestion tax on vehicles entering the city during peak hours to curb traffic congestion. RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat echoes Prime Minister Modi, UP CM Yogi's call for united Hindus. Citing Bangladesh, Bhagwat says that Hindus need to stay united and eliminate all differences. Mohan Bhagwat takes a jibe at the West Bengal government over Arjikar rape and murder case, says efforts have been made to protect criminals. Politics erupts over Tamil Nadu train collision. DMK Congress questions centre over measures for rail safety. Haryana government to have a swearing-in ceremony on the 17th of October. Now, traffic is a global issue which comes at a cost. London, Singapore, Germany have a taxing system to curb traffic. Similarly, the Delhi government is considering slapping a congestion tax on vehicles entering the city during peak hours from 13 major entry points along its borders in a bid to curb traffic congestion and pollution as well. Now, the government plans to collect this particular tax through fast tag and not manually, because that will then add up to the congestion and time consumption on roads. Now, while two-wheelers as well as non-polluting vehicles and EVs are set to be exempt from this tax. My colleague Anushka joins us with more details. Anushka, now take us through the details of this tax that could possibly be levied in the national capital.
Well, certainly this congestion tax has been introduced to make Delhi traffic free and pollution free. As far as we can see that the winters is coming and pollution is like, the serious topic during the winter time. Now the Delhi government is thinking around measures and ways to curb the pollution and the traffic issue. We can see during the peak hours a lot of traffic can be seen on the roads of Delhi. Now the government is thinking about slapping congestion taxes on the vehicles which are operating on Delhi roads around 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and from evening 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The vehicles entering from 13 points inside Delhi will have to give this congestion tax. Right now this tax congestion tax is in a very advanced level and is facing a lot of challenges in its implementation, where we can clearly see that the government is trying to work around the legal framework, as we can clearly see that the Motor Vehicles Act does not define any such tax that can be levied upon people. So either some changes would be made to the existing the tax system or Motor Vehicle Act, or maybe some provisional statutory provisions would be made to levy this tax on people. Now this tax has been draws inspiration from different cities like London, foreign cities like London, Singapore and New York, and right now also the government is considering to levy this tax on Delhi in a move to curb the pollution and the traffic congestion issue that people face on a regular basis. The tax that would be levied, the penalties that would be generated would be used to augment roads for vulnerable commuters such as pedestrians and cyclists, according to the government. Now the primary cause for slapping this congestion tax on people is not to raise the revenue but to control the traffic issue and the pollution issue as per the government sources. Now the main issue revolves around implementing this whole, congestion tax on people. Now the government is also saying that, all of this will depend upon how smoothly this will be accepted amongst the public, and how the, implementation of the tax would be done, and how easy and smooth the integration system would be made for the people. 13 points have been, 13 borders around Delhi have been, chosen to implement this tax, while the, this will, encourage people to somehow use the general public transport, and also not only to use public transport but also use EVs, because we can clearly see that the government has exempted the electronic vehicles and two-wheelers from this whole tax system. But we can clearly see that right now also it is facing a lot of legal challenges for its implementation amongst the public, and we can clearly see that, back to studio.
Right. Thank you, Anushka, for joining us and bringing us those details. Of course, these 13 points across the border have been chosen as chokehold areas where normally there is traffic that is seen, where this tax would be levied. I'm also being joined at this point by General Secretary of TRACS, a road safety NGO, Rajni Gandhi. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. Now, there are 2 points to this question. Firstly, the fact that it could be heavily helpful to commuters because it would reduce not just traffic congestion but also pollution on the roads when it comes to this tax being levied, and only during peak hours, of course. But another question then comes is, would people then perceive it as another inconvenience?
Actually, we are still, I told the last time also, we are into the experiment mode for roads and road safety. And this another point is having lots of queries, not one either. There are many queries because we are going to tackle the congestion. First of all, have we understood exact reasons of congestions in Delhi? Because if you see the chart of last almost 20 days, the traffic congestion is happening a lot in Delhi. So is that the only reason, the number of vehicles, or something else? Number one, that at least that study is required thoroughly for us. Secondly, the major point is, if we are going to make the congestion tax, so are we ready with all the preparations? Like in case I have just read that the FASTag is going to use for collecting the tax.
Right.
Do we have the system to collect the tax on the borders or the points where we are going to stop the vehicles, or it is going to make more traffic problem rather? So that homework is required totally, and otherwise it will be another kiosk for the people and traffic police even. So whatever is coming, I really appreciate if it is coming with whole of the full homework, that what is required. The requirement of today is that we need a good public transport system supported by the safe infrastructure. If we are not having these two things at ground, we'll be having regular problems every day.
Right.
And yeah.
Right, Rajnikant, stay on with us. So implementation is the major question here. I'm also being joined by Mr. Punya from Jaipur. Mr. Punya, go ahead and share your thoughts on this development. How would you perceive a congestion tax if it were to be brought in?
Yeah, ma'am. Although this is a controversial topic, but I totally support this step because it is based on the inspiration took by some cities like some international foreign countries like London, Singapore, etc., etc. So I support this, but if we have to implement, so Delhi government has to increase the frequency of public transport such as buses and metro, such as the buses and metro. So I feel that if they are implementing this thing, so they have to increase public transport also, because if they don't increase public transport, then this rule will be a complete failure.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. Thank you, Punya, for joining us and sharing your thoughts. There, Ms. Gandhi, we were discussing the same issue, that there needs to be a complementary public transport system with enough buses plying, enough metro frequency as well, so that people, if they are opting for public transport, that frees up the roads for people who have no other options but to travel by the road. By cars. I think I'm also being joined at this point by H.N. Maini, joining us from Chandigarh. Go ahead, Maini, please share your thoughts on a possible congestion tax in the national capital.
This is making mockery of the entire system because to cover up for the freebies that they've doled out, they want to make money on the side. This is not the answer. The answer is check the other forms of pollution which are creating such a toxic situation in NCR. First, get rid of those before you trouble the public. As it is, you're taking toll tax to enter Delhi. Now you're starting this nonsense. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
And I think we should wholeheartedly get after it and not support it at all.
Right.
I would request the Delhiites and NCR people not to support this and stand against this. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Maini, for joining us and sharing your thoughts there. Gandhi, ma'am, we did see two different opposing sides as well. One side where they are completely supporting it, but saying, you know, we only need a complementary public transport system that then ensures that this is implemented properly. But then again, you know, most citizens questioning, is this just politicians going to be lining their pockets again by leveling more tax?
See, this is the reason we are again and again asking that if something is coming at ground level, that is required a full policy, that brainstorming is required behind it. It is road. We can see Delhi's roads are full of traffic jam and lots of problems are happening. If that congestion, and I have gone through the news also that it is going to implement on cars and other commercial vehicles and not the two-wheelers, right? So if you are not going to do that, it means you are going to increase the number of two-wheelers or asking people to go for the public transport. So it is actually not the full solution. That is the, I think one of the visitor has also mentioned over there, that it is going to be a good way. But UK or US, whatever they have the policy based upon their based work already at the ground level. They have proper enforcement, number of police personnel, and accordingly the safe infrastructure. If we are having bottlenecks, traffic situation everywhere in Delhi, then how we can expect that this problem is going to be solved? If you will see at one location, the road is of 6 lane and suddenly it is narrowing by 2 lanes or 3 lanes, how we can expect that public will sort it out? It is something beyond the public point of view. We need to understand that what is actually required at the ground level first. Understanding those issues and then implementing such policies are always welcome. But without that work, it is going to make another news only.
Right. Stay on with us. I'm also being joined at this point by Ramesh from Bengaluru. Mr. Ramesh, go ahead and share your thoughts on a possible congestion tax.
Yeah, the question is, do you not think that it is going to impact the tourism as such, because Delhi happens to be the hub of the tourism, and we have places around it where outsiders do come to Delhi for the purpose of tourism? That is the question. Yeah.
Right, all right. And I think I'm also being joined at this point by Perumal from Chennai. I'd also like to hear from Mr. Perumal on what your thoughts are on a congestion tax.
So this congestion tax will not resolve the issue on a primary level, on the ground level or basic level, whatever it is. The thing is that, as our panelist said, rightly, it needs a thorough brainstorming from across all the, point of who are all related with this traffic jam. Vehicle manufacturers, you have Road Users Association of India. In '96, I remember when the Devagowda government came, our Minister Chidambaram opened up the loans for vehicles. So that was the point that time. Our president of the Road Users Association asked a simple question: where are the roads and where are the space for parking the vehicle?
Right.
It's not about only the road on which we travel. What about the parking space? So are we concentrating? It needs development authorities involvement, the government road transport ministry's involvement, public involvement, NGOs like people where Madam Rajini is there. So they're all needed, and people like also has to be brought as a think tank people so that this government resolves this issue. Earlier they brought in an odd number, even number, this thing that failed in Delhi.
Right.
It miserably failed. This is also a similar way. It will miserably fail since our government in the last 1955 to till date, we have not understood the dynamics of this country, especially in the urban traffic congestion and the urban promotion. So you need to create a public-private transport policy.
Right.
So where and all people see, in Western countries it's totally different. Our population is very less. But India needs a very dynamic kind of an, good things are happening. I'm not blaming that, but still we need 75%
Right, I've got your point,
of the area.
Saravanan Perumal. Thank you for joining us, sir, and sharing your thoughts. Quite some interesting points that Saravanan Perumal and the other callers made there as well, including Mr. Ramesh. Now, if we're talking about Rajni Gandhi, if we're talking about levelling a tax, is that now seen as a jump of a step before addressing the other issues like infrastructure? One of the callers also mentioned parking space. That is a big question when it comes to Delhi. And in terms of cameras or transponders that other countries have, which then ensure that this system of taxation works.
Actually, I tell you very frankly that roads are meant for everyone, right? Either the policymakers are on there or any politician is there, doctors are there. Everybody use roads. Right now, we have a very good caller, Mr. Sarvan. He has mentioned very valid point. It means we have the mindset of the road users which can adopt good practices. There is a need to inculcate those practices through different policies as well as at ground activation. So that is the point everyone is saying. If we just will ignore all the issues which are related to infrastructure, which is related to enforcement or road users behaviors, other points, so we won't be able to get the final solution.
Right. We seem to have lost Rajni Gandhi's line there. We'll try and get her back on the broadcast, but I'm also being joined by Ravinder Pawar from Delhi. Mr. Ravinder Pawar, go ahead and share your thoughts on a possible congestion tax in the national capital.
Well, Ram, I really think it is not going to help the decongest. What you need to do is, please look at the wrong parkings which are done on the road, on the narrow roads. Look at the people who come opposite way on a single lane and cause congestion. They do it right in front of the traffic police, and the traffic police do nothing. There are a lot of laws which need proper implementation. If we can just ensure proper parking, roads are not blocked by parked cars, and people not coming opposite on single lane, it will still lead to a lot of decongestion.
Right.
Secondly, your buses, the drivers need to be taught. In a lot of times, they don't even go to the left when they park on the bus stop. They are parked right in the center of the road. The passengers disembark, climb. It just causes a lot of congestion and a lot of traffic jam.
Right.
So rather than putting new tax, we need to implement the existing laws. That itself will cause a lot of decongestion.
Right. Thank you, Ravinder Pawar, for joining us and sharing your thoughts. There again, Ms. Gandhi, more callers saying that the existing issues within Delhi infrastructure have to be addressed first. Parking, one of the major issues, but also road hygiene and following of traffic laws that we've seen are violated quite a bit.
Yeah, that is the, I think, behavior pattern since long we are following, and that is the reason of crucial issue also that it is to be addressed. But really, as per World Health Organization also, if we consider some reports from the international forums as well. So again and again, if you want to create a behavior, you need to provide a better enforcement, not only just camera based, beyond that also, as well as the infrastructure, as the caller has pointed out. I just tell you, there are some techniques or the issues like having the time slabs also for the people going to their jobs. Like different sectors have the different time of offices also. So making some time slabs also. Apart from that, there should not be any vehicle, a cleaning vehicle, especially on roads, which is cleaning the roads at the time of peak hours. And we have seen that there are sometimes many traffic jam issues are there. Parking is another issue. Encroachment is another issue. Lane driving is not there. I just can see, you can also see on your screen itself, there is one bus which is driving in the right lane, not in the left lane, because there are reasons. We cannot just say that is the behavior of only the driver is driving. Might be there are lots
Stay
of
on with us, Ms. Gandhi.
ways
I'll just
are
come back to you. I'm also being joined at this point by Gagandeep Singh, a caller from Dubai. Thank you for calling us, sir. Now, the Delhi government is thinking to bring in a congestion tax. Do you think it would work well like it does in other countries?
See, thank you so much for letting me to be part of this particular call. See, I was hearing the entire conversation. I think, it's very important. We need to see examples of what is being said by other countries, right? So I've been into Africa, I've been into UAE and UK and many other countries. See, people consider road as a community. It's not like when you're driving onto the roads, people say that, hey, you are joining a road community. Community is where you become the owner of that particular community. In terms of when you're driving onto the road, you need to make sure you follow the community rules.
Right.
So when it comes to India, right, so the challenge, what I've seen, we know, right, what has happened in past 1 year, the type of accidents, the types of issues which has happened.
Right.
So it's all about how people are more, I think there has to be a proper education series in terms of how people have to drive in India, especially as you mentioned in the call, like the lane, right, the lane, falling up of the lane. People even don't know what are lanes in India, right?
Right,
and
absolutely.
So these things are so important, and I think making sure your vehicles are renewed every year. This is something which I like in a country like UAE. Do you know what? Every year my vehicle is renewed.
Absolutely, Mr. Gagandeep, you're making a very interesting point there that I'd like to discuss with Ms. Gandhi as well. Now, something about traffic rules that are not taught to people when they apply for their RTO license either, right? We see this a lot of times when they're not aware of traffic rules, they get licenses easily, and this goes for even drivers who are then employed by cab companies, right? Ms. Gandhi, if you could. Ms. Gandhi, if you can hear me.
Sorry.
Right. So I'm talking about how licensing issues are also must be considered because road rules are not taught and lane rules are not taught before people apply for RTO licenses as well.
I think in the last debate also I have mentioned a point of offender training policy. You have to understand along with the vehicle which type of road user is driving that vehicle or which type of road user is coming on road. There are many ironically points. We go to schools, we ask these students, please use zebra crossing. But they say there is no zebra crossing in front of my school. Or they may say that might be sometime the driver is drunk and we are sitting in the van. So there are the issues we need to understand, and offender training system, introducing it is the right time, because see, road safety is required a holistic approach from the policymakers to public participation. That is all to be done together. On one hand, we need to see which type of road users are coming on road, and we need to enforce them and educate them through training system and everything. But along with that, apart from public, the government has to provide the basic needs, which is as per the road safety point of view. So that is holistic approach is required, and until that time we are not going to ask for the public participation,
right,
that yes, we need your support, that we want them to make the road safer, then
right,
it is only possible, because it is a big number of people, big number of vehicles which are on roads, and we need to understand the need as per our understanding, our point of view, and not as per the European or American consideration. We can adopt any of the policies from there once we are having the ground level at the park.
Right. I think what we've gathered from speaking to some of the callers as well is that we need to fix a lot of issues on the roads first before we implement such a tax, is what the common conception when it comes to congestion taxes as well. We'll continue tracking the story. Thank you, Ms. Gandhi, for joining us and sharing your thoughts as well and elaborating on all of the issues that are existing. We'll continue tracking the story for you. For now, a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
loving it. An experience to remember for a lifetime.
जानू ना मुझको कैसे है पा लिया इस शहर ने लापता था मैं पहले अपना लिया इस शहर ने शोर भी लगे एक दिन की तरह
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
From the heart of city in Beirut, a city which is scarred by violence and caught between the crossfire between Israel and Hezbollah. A war which started a year ago between Israel and Hamas has now spilled over to Lebanon. NDTV is on the ground to bring latest updates, in-depth analysis and how the evolving war has impacted this country. Stay tuned for latest updates.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
From the heart of city in Beirut, a city which is scarred by violence and caught between the crossfire between Israel and Hezbollah. A war which started a year ago between Israel and Hamas has now spilled over to Lebanon. NDTV is on the ground to bring latest updates, in-depth analysis and how the evolving war has impacted this country. Stay tuned for latest updates.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
have been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Hello friends and welcome to the fresh episode of your favorite show around gadgets. The name is pretty obvious guys, you know it's Gadgets 360 with Technical Guruji, जहाँ पे मैं हर बार हर नए एपिसोड में आपके साथ बात करता हूँ नए बहुत ही क्रेजी गैजेट्स के बारे में। मेरा नाम है गौरव, आप लोग मुझे प्यार से टेक्निकल गुरुजी या फिर टीजी भी बुलाते हैं और आज भी इस एपिसोड में मैं आपके साथ बात करने वाला हूं अबाउट सम न्यू क्रेजी गैजेट्स। इनफैक्ट आपके सवालों के जवाब भी मिलेंगे एंड आई एम गोना आल्सो शेयर दिस नाइस टेक टिप विद यू जो आपका काफी फायदा करवा सकता है अगर आप गैजेट्स को यूज करते हैं तो जल्दी से आगे बढ़ते हैं, लेट्स एक्सप्लोर कि क्या है हमारे चारों तरफ इन्हीं नए गैजेट्स की दुनिया में। आगे बढ़ेंगे, चलिए शुरू करते हैं। फ्रेंड्स, सबसे पहले आप सभी का एकदम गर्मा गर्म स्वागत करना चाहूंगा। अब देखो, दिल्ली की हवा में हल्की हल्की सर्दी जो है वो स्टार्ट हो चुकी है, चाय की चुस्कियां ज्यादा मजेदार होने लग गई हैं और बेसिकली जो खबरें हैं चारों तरफ वो भी बहुत ज्यादा गर्मा गर्म है बिकॉज एज आई से ऑल द टाइम दिस गैजेट वर्ल्ड इज नेवर स्टॉपिंग, इट रन्स क्वाइट फास्ट। हर रोज वी हैव सम न्यू लॉन्चेस, सम न्यू अपडेट्स कमिंग इन। लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपेंड इन द पास्ट वीक इन दिस सेक्शन, न्यूज ऑफ द वीक।
Sony launched two new earphones, एक Pulse Explore wireless earbuds and एक Pulse Elite wireless headset. As evident from their looks, ये दोनों products gaming oriented हैं. Plus, they adhere to Sony's proprietary wireless connection protocol, PlayStation Link. Pulse Explore earbuds का प्राइस है 18,990 रुपीज, Pulse Elite headset का प्राइस है 12,990 रुपीज एंड दोनों ही products में AI enhanced noise rejection capabilities हैं. Techno Mobiles launched another budget offering in their product portfolio, Techno Spark 30C 5G. 4GB RAM and 64GB ROM वाले वेरिएंट का लॉन्च प्राइस है 9,999 एंड 4GB RAM with 128GB ROM वाले वेरिएंट का लॉन्च प्राइस है 10,499 रुपीज। इस फोन के हाइलाइट्स हैं एक 6.67 इंच का 120 हर्ट्ज का रिफ्रेश रेट वाला LCD स्क्रीन, MediaTek Dimensity 6300 चिपसेट, 48 मेगापिक्सल का Sony IMX582 सेंसर ऑन द बैक, expandable storage, NFC capabilities, 5000 mAh battery and support for 18 watts का fast wired charging. Gaming giant Ubisoft has announced that Assassin's Creed Mirage अब finally Steam platform पे आने वाला है. This was posted on X by the team themselves, and this has finally happened after a year of official release. One of the most exciting features out of Google's suite of AI tools, Ask Photos, जल्द ही US में कुछ users के लिए रिलीज होने वाला है. इस फीचर के साथ यूजर्स जेमिनी से contextual questions पूछ सकते हैं and relevant information will be answered based on the user's gallery. Ask Photos generates test descriptions for images and videos based on facial recognition data and उनको tag कर देता है with date and location data. So you can get answers to questions like where was I on 18 September or when did I last wear my favorite black tulle hoodie.
Now friends, the first gadget I have in this episode, it's very, very, very special. How would you react अगर मैं आपको ये बोलूं कि I have a 10.2-inch tablet in my back pocket? Would you believe? My pocket is a standard sized pocket, but the kind of gadget I'm carrying, it is a transformational device because it can transform from a normal phone to a folding phone and from a normal sized folding phone to a giant tablet. Guys, here it is. This is the all new Huawei Mate XT Ultimate design. Looks like a normal phone, pretty common. इसको हमने खोला, becomes like a standard sized foldable smartphone, but it can also go all the way and become this huge 10.2-inch sized tablet. Quite slim at just 3.8 millimeters, weighs under 300 grams, and overall is completely revolutionary because this is a tri-folding device. Pretty slim but pretty powerful. Let's see up close कि आखिर Huawei ने इस नए Mate XT Ultimate एडिशन में क्या फीचर्स को पैक किया है और कैसे ये फ़ोन आपकी लाइफ को ज़्यादा आसान, ज़्यादा प्रोडक्टिव और ज़्यादा फन बना सकता है with its revolutionary design. Let's have a closer look.
If you can't beat them, join them. Huawei Mate XT Ultimate डिज़ाइन के साथ Huawei ने ऑलमोस्ट यही किया. अब ऑलमोस्ट हर किसी का फोन फोल्ड हो रहा है, so Huawei must have thought, we've made a folding hinge so nice, let's make it twice. So the Huawei Mate XT Ultimate design is a long name for a long phone that has two hinges, two creases, and it folds into 3 panes of sandwiched glasses. And इसके बावजूद भी ये अपने competitors से ज़्यादा भारी या ज़्यादा thick नहीं है. Mind you, competitors only fold once. Here, it's like a cascading waterfall that keeps getting majestic. बाहर से the phone is a 6.4-inch LTPO OLED display with a 90 Hz refresh rate. The first unfold turns this device into a 7.9-inch LTPO OLED display with of course 90 Hz of refresh rate. And जब आप इसको एक second time unfold करते हैं, ये एक 10.2-inch का टैबलेट ही बन जाता है जिसमें स्मार्टफोन कैपेबिलिटीज हैं. What else can you call a 10.2-inch 16:11 aspect ratio display? Running the phone is a Kirin 9010 chipset. This is Huawei's own homegrown chip, and it is a little underwhelming for the price and the product. The 16GB of RAM you get is LPDDR5X, and all 3 options for storage, they are UFS 3.1. These do sound like cost cutting, but the product manager in us understands that the sole purpose of this phone is to have 2 folds. Credit where due. Huawei ने इस form factor में भी एक 5600 mAh की बैटरी फिट करी है that does support pretty fast charging. In fact, camera bump काफी prominent है from the rest of the body. There are 3 cameras on the back, एक 50 मेगापिक्सल का प्राइमरी सेंसर, एक 12 मेगापिक्सल का अल्ट्रा वाइड कैमरा एंड एक 12 मेगापिक्सल का 5.5x पेरिस्कोप जूम लेंस. Android 14 पे based Harmony OS runs the ship. Generally, the software is smooth, but since this is only for the Chinese market, don't expect to find all your apps. This is a first gen product with first gen niggles, but first gen interest peaks from the tech world overall.
So friends, there you have it, everything about this new Huawei Mate XT ट्राई-फोल्डिंग डिवाइस. और वैसे अगर हम बात करते हैं ऐसे डिवाइसेस की या इन जनरल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स की, तो आपने अक्सर इसी से जुड़ी हुई एक जगह के बारे में भी सुना हो जिसको हम अक्सर जानते हैं सिलिकॉन वैली के नाम से. जी हाँ, कैलिफोर्निया में जो बे एरिया है, सैन फ्रांसिस्को के आसपास का जो पूरा एरिया है, इट इज कॉल्ड सिलिकॉन वैली. अगर हम बात करते हैं इंडिया की, तो बेंगलुरु इज कॉल्ड द सिलिकॉन वैली ऑफ इंडिया. बट द क्वेश्चन इज व्हाई स्पेसिफिकली सिलिकॉन? ऐसा क्या है इस वर्ड में जो हम जगहों के नाम जहां पे भी टेक्नोलॉजी का डेवलपमेंट होता है उसे सिलिकॉन वैली कह के बोलते हैं? Well guys, did you know that silicon is one of the most important materials in this tech space? अगर सिलिकॉन ना होता तो सेमीकंडक्टर ना होता, और अगर सेमीकंडक्टर ना होता तो आज जो हम इतना सारा टेक इवॉल्व होते हुए देख रहे हैं ये भी नहीं होता. Well, guys, silicon is not too rare to find because Earth की जो crust है उसका majority silicon ही है with 27.7% of percentage share. But the pure silicon is what we need, and in this industry, the purity is of the highest standards because it needs to be 99.9999999% प्योर. कहने का मतलब ये कि अगर वी हैव अ बिलियन ऑफ सिलिकॉन एटम्स तो उसमें केवल एक नॉन सिलिकॉन एटम ही अलाउड है. एंड दिस इज डेफिनेटली वन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट क्वालिटी कंट्रोल्स दैट वी हैव इन दिस इंडस्ट्री. और इसी प्योर सिलिकॉन से बाद में बनाया जाता है उन चिप्स को जो आपके कंप्यूटर में या मोबाइल में या बाकी डिवाइसेस में लगी होती हैं. सो दैट्स द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ सिलिकॉन एंड दैट्स व्हाई टेक प्लेसेस आर यूजुअली रेफर्ड एज द सिलिकॉन वैली. आपको ये बात पता थी? इफ यस देन अमेजिंग, बट इफ नो देन अगेन जस्ट लेट मी नो राइटिंग एट tg@ndtv.com. Now friends, for the next gadget I have this phone, and this is like not an ordinary smartphone. I mean, of course it's a smartphone. ये है Lava Agni 3, but the best part is that it has two special things. One is this customizable button for quick action, and number two is this. अगर आप देख रहे हैं पीछे, it has this tiny screen on the back for some quick information. यहाँ पे you can check notifications and everything. So ये काफी एक interesting package बन जाता है all together with this curved screen, nice processor, clean Android, quite sleek design, quite powerful as well with this unique feature. Let's see up close कि आखिर लावा का ये जो अग्नि 3 है ये अपने साथ में और क्या नए फीचर्स लेके आता है.
Lava Agni 3 का claim to fame is what Lava calls its revolutionary Agni Insta screen on the back. ये छोटे secondary displays हम folding phones पे expect करते हैं या फिर LG V20 जैसे regular form factor phones में भी देखे गए हैं. The sales pitch being, you can do some stuff on these so you don't need your entire screen के distractions. Lava के cited use cases include using it as a mirror for better quality selfies. This is fine क्योंकि 16 मेगापिक्सल के फ्रंट कैमरा एंड उसके छोटे सेंसर से बेटर फोटोज आप 50 मेगापिक्सल के रियर प्राइमरी कैमरा से ले पाएंगे. प्लस वंस यू फ्लिप द फोन आपको सेल्फीज लेने के लिए अल्ट्रा वाइड एंड टेलीफोटो लेंसेज के ऑप्शंस भी मिल जाते हैं. द अग्नि इंस्टा स्क्रीन कैन शो यू क्विक नोटिफिकेशंस, इट कैन शो यू सम एक्टिविटी स्टेटसेस लाइक म्यूजिक प्लेबैक एंड इस पे इनकमिंग कॉल्स भी दिखते हैं with the ability to answer or hang them up. But this coupled with the remaining features the phone offers is a compelling package. All variants cost under 25,000 rupees. Ones with 8GB RAM and 128GB storage, ones with 8GB RAM and 256GB of storage, and then basically आपको बॉक्स में 66 watt का फास्ट चार्जर चाहिए या नहीं for the 5000 mAh battery. Those become options as well. MediaTek Dimensity 7300X processor, so 5G with 14 global and Indian bands, a 1.5K 6.78-inch curved AMOLED screen, एक physical action key on the side जिससे आप customizable actions करवा सकते हैं, a copper-plated heat dissipation module, Dolby Atmos dual stereo speakers, IP64 rating for dust and water, 1 meters का ड्रॉप प्रोटेक्शन एंड 1 years का वारंटी पीरियड जिसमें फ्री फोन रिप्लेसमेंट का भी ऑप्शन है विद ऑफ कोर्स सम कंडीशंस अप्लाइड. ऑल दीज टेक सेकेंडरी यूएसपी का स्पॉट क्योंकि फर्स्ट स्पॉट बैक पे अग्नि इंस्टा स्क्रीन ने ही ले लिया है.
So guys, there you have it, everything about this all new Lava Agni 3. I mean, quite an interesting package coming from an Indian brand, packing all these new features. Definitely looks exciting. Break के बाद वैसे मैं आपको exciting tech tip भी देने वाला हूँ जिससे आपको काफी मदद मिलेगी और आपके प्लांट को भी काफी मदद मिलेगी. Everything right after this short break.
I thought I will have to come here.
I'm loving it. An experience to remember for a lifetime.
जानू ना मुझको कैसे है पा लिया इस शहर ने, लापता था मैं पहले अपना लिया इस शहर ने, शोर भी लगे एक दिन की तरह.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
From the heart of city in Beirut, a city which is scarred by violence and caught between the crossfire between Israel and Hezbollah. A war which started a year ago between Israel and Hamas has now spilled over to Lebanon. NDTV is on the ground to bring latest updates, in-depth analysis and how the evolving war has impacted this country. Stay tuned for latest updates.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
From the heart of city in Beirut, a city which is scarred by violence.
हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक आफ्टर द ब्रेक। आप देख रहे हैं अपना फेवरेट गैजेट शो, इट्स गैजेट्स 360 विद टेक्निकल गुरुजी। मेरा नाम है गौरव एके टीजी। और ब्रेक से पहले मैंने आपको बताया था कि एक ऐसी टिप आपको मैं देने वाला हूं जहां पे आपको बहुत मदद मिलेगी एंड आपके प्लांट को भी। वेल गाइस, दिस इज अबाउट प्लांट केयर, ऑल थैंक्स टू AI. See, when you have a small plant, आपने अपने टेबल पर सजा के रखा है या हो सकता है छोटे गमले में है, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हाउ टू टेक गुड केयर ऑफ दैट प्लांट। कब पानी देना है, किस क्वांटिटी में देना है, फर्टिलाइजर्स को कब ऐड करना है, थोड़ा आउटडोर सनशाइन में रखना है या नहीं रखना है, ट्रिम कितना फ्रीक्वेंटली करना है और कैसे करना है। सो बेसिकली यू कैन यूज योर AI असिस्टेंट फॉर दीज पर्पसेस। आप केवल अपने जो प्लांट की स्पीशीज हैं उसको ऐड कीजिए और पूछिए कि हाउ टू कीप इट हेल्दी एंड हाउ टू मेक इट ग्रो, और वहां पे यू विल हैव अ डिटेल्ड इंस्ट्रक्शन गाइड विद वेरी इजी स्टेप्स, अ बेसिक रूटीन फॉर यू टू फॉलो टू बिकम अ गुड प्लांट पेरेंट। मैंने ट्राई किया और मुझे काफी इजीली समझ में आ गया, अदरवाइज कॉम्प्लेक्स इंस्ट्रक्शंस, कि आखिर इस प्लांट की कैसे केयर करनी है। यू कैन ऑल्सो ट्राई एंड लेट मी नो कि आपका प्लांट किस स्पीड से कैसे हेल्दीली ग्रो कर पा रहा है बाय जस्ट राइटिंग डाउन टू tg@ndtv.com. Okay, so friends, now it's time for Ask TG, the section जहां पे मैं आपके पूछे हुए सवालों के जवाब देता हूं अराउंड गैजेट्स। लेट्स सी इस हफ्ते हमारे पास में कैसे कैसे सवाल आए हैं।
Hi Technical Guruji sir, I watch your videos regularly. If I want to buy a phone under 40,000 in Deepavali sir, what do you recommend?
See, if you have budget of around 40,000, I can recommend the OnePlus 12R. I can recommend the Samsung Galaxy S23. I can recommend you the new iPhone. Although आपको iPhone 14 मिल पाएगा इस प्राइस में, अगर आप ट्राई करेंगे तो 13 is not really something that I would recommend at this time. But yes, the OnePlus 12R and the Samsung Galaxy S23, they are quite exciting for this price.
Hello Technical Guruji, क्या अब हमें एयर प्यूरीफायर लेना चाहिए? हम दिल्ली में ही रहते हैं।
डेफिनेटली, बिकॉज मुझे लगता है कि कंसिडरिंग द काइंड ऑफ AQI लेवल्स आर गोइंग टू बी इन दिल्ली, और आगे चल के हम जैसे देखते हैं कि यू नो इट्स यूजुअली अ प्रॉब्लम एंड इट इज़ काइंड ऑफ अ प्रॉब्लम जो शायद आप इंस्टेंटली रियलाइज ना करें, बट इट हैज़ डेफिनेटली अ नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट ऑन आवर हेल्थ। तो अब बाहर को तो हम कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते हैं, वी कैन डेफिनेटली ट्राई वियरिंग अ मास्क या जो भी डॉक्टर्स रिकमेंड करते हैं, बट इनडोर्स फॉर अ बेटर हेल्दी लिविंग आप दिल्ली में क्यों, आप किसी भी शहर में हो, इफ यू सी दैट द AQI लेवल्स आर नॉट हेल्दी, यू डेफिनेटली नीड टू इन्वेस्ट इन एन एयर प्यूरीफायर। एंड मोर देन दैट, मैं आपको रिकमेंड करूंगा कि जब आप एक एयर प्यूरीफायर लेते हैं तो टेक गुड केयर ऑफ दैट, कि आपको उसका फिल्टर कब क्लीन करना है, कब चेंज करना है, एंड यू नो ऑल दोज थिंग्स, बिकॉज समटाइम्स हम केवल एक परचेज करके छोड़ देते हैं एंड उसके बाद में जस्ट बिलीव कि जस्ट बिकॉज वी हैव एन एयर प्यूरीफायर नाउ इट्स ऑल गुड, बट नॉट दैट वे। आपको थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा, बट या व्हाई नॉट। I mean, you should definitely invest in one because it's all for our own health.
Hello Gaurav, I saw an episode of your other show about music production. Can you do an episode on latest camera tech? Thank you.
Why not? I mean, guys, first of all, if you don't know, there's one more show. It's called Tech with TG, जहाँ पे हम टेक स्पेस में थोड़ा सा डीप डाइव करते हैं, एंड वी रिसेंटली हैड दिस एपिसोड ऑफ ऑल अबाउट म्यूजिक प्रोडक्शन। तो हम डेफिनेटली कैमराज के ऊपर भी एक डिटेल एपिसोड बना सकते हैं, जहाँ पे थोड़ा सा कैमराज की हिस्ट्री को जानेंगे, करंट क्या चल रहा है, प्रेजेंट उसको जानेंगे, एंड वी कैन ऑल्सो एक्सप्लोर द फ्यूचर ऑफ कैमराज।
हेलो टेक्निकल गुरुजी, मैंने आपके बहुत सारे वीडियोस देखे हैं, क्या आप हमें ये बता सकते हैं कि डिजिटल सिग्नेचर कैसे करते हैं?
डिजिटल साइन करने के अलग अलग तरीके हैं। देयर आर अ फ्यू वेबसाइट्स जहाँ पे आप डिजिटली अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स को साइन कर सकते हैं। इफ़ यू आर यूजिंग अ कंप्यूटर तो वहाँ पे लेट्स से यू आर यूजिंग अडोबी, वहाँ पे यू कैन ऐड योर डिजिटल सिग्नेचर। इफ़ यू आर यूजिंग एन एप्पल डिवाइस तो वहाँ पे इन दैट प्रीव्यू एप्लीकेशन आपको अपना साइन स्कैन करने का ऑप्शन मिलता है, यू कैन स्कैन इट वाया एन आईफोन एज वेल, या फोटो खींच के भी। अगर हम बात करते हैं मोबाइल फोन्स की तो एनी PDF व्यूअर अगर आप जाते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू हैव अ सैमसंग स्मार्टफोन, तो वहाँ पे यू कैन डिजिटली साइन, लाइक using the S pen या using your fingers. तो अलग अलग options हैं depending on the kind of documents you want to sign. Sometimes it's a two-way contract जहाँ पे एक website है, आपने अपना sign किया, सामने से उधर से sign आया and the document is officially signed. So multiple ways, but pretty easy to do your digital signatures in all these documents.
Hello TG, I'm your big fan. Also, I'm starting my YouTube channel on poetry. Can you please recommend me an app जहाँ से मैं background noise clear कर सकता हूँ?
Audacity is that app जिसको आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं for clean audio experience. अगर कुछ echo वगैरह आता है तो if you have a newer iPhone तो उसमें तो inbuilt audio mix का जो option है वहाँ पे you can do all this. अगर हम बात करते हैं इसके अलावा तो there are many plugins available for many of these editors जहाँ पे आप audio के अंदर थोड़ा सा एक जो noise है उसको clear कर सकते हैं. If you do it too much then वो आवाज़ एकदम robotic लगती है, but certain levels तक आप audio clean कर सकते हैं. And ideally I would recommend if you can record in an environment जहाँ पे ऑडियो पहले से ही जितना क्लीन हो सके आप उतना रिकॉर्ड करें, उसको इम्प्रूव करना ज़्यादा इजी होगा बजाय के एक बहुत ही शोर वाले ऑडियो को क्लीन कर पाना. बिकॉज नॉइज कैंसलेशन वुड बी एबल टू रिमूव ऑल द नॉइसेज ऑफ अ कॉन्स्टेंट सोर्स. लेट्स से अगर एसी की आवाज़ आ रही है एंड ऑल, बट इफ इट इज़ वेरी वेरिएबल इन नेचर की अगर ट्रैफिक की आवाज़ है तो उसको हटा पाना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है. बट यू कैन ट्राई विद ऑडेसिटी एंड ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर यूट्यूब जर्नी. Okay, so guys, there you go. सब कुछ मेरी तरफ से in this week's episode of your favorite show Gadgets 360 with Technical Guruji. I'm gonna come next week जहाँ पे और नए नए gadgets होंगे और नई नई बातें होंगी और ढेर सारा फन भी होगा. Same place, same time, you know the drill. तब तक अगर आपका कोई भी सवाल हो, कुछ भी अगर आपको कहना हो, just write at tg@ndtv.com. मैं आपसे मिलता हूँ नेक्स्ट एपिसोड में. फिलहाल के लिए इतना ही. Have a good day and take care.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
From the heart of city in Beirut, a city which is scarred by violence and caught between the crossfire between Israel and Hezbollah. A war which started a year ago between Israel and Hamas has now spilled over to Lebanon. NDTV is on the ground to bring latest updates, in-depth analysis and how the evolving war has impacted this country. Stay tuned for latest updates.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead.
Hello and welcome to News at 2. I'm your host Rika Roy. It is the auspicious occasion of Vijay Dashami. We take you through all the celebrations and also tell you about the politics around the event. To begin with, here are the headlines at this hour. RSS chief echoes PM's Hindu unity speech. Hemant Bhagwat tells Hindus, if we are weak, we are inviting atrocity. Mallikarjun Kharge says, you support a party that unites disunity, while Shiv Sena says, can't tolerate what happened to Hindus in Bangladesh. The RSS chief has also slammed Bengal government on Arjikar hospital incident. He says delays, criminals protected even after rape and murder. This is the result of crime politics nexus. Delhi government mulls congestion tax on peak hour traffic. There's a proposal to have congestion tax from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Exemption for electric vehicles, two-wheelers. The plan is to collect tax via FASTags. Haryana government swearing-in ceremony will take place on the 17th of October. It will be attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Panchkuya. Politics starts a day after Chennai train collision. Stalin and Rahul Gandhi put the onus on the centre. Here's our top story at this hour. The atrocities against Hindus in Bangladesh were a key focus of RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat's address to the public during the organization's Dussehra Utsav. Mohan Bhagwat has said that the Hindus live in harmony through continuous dialogue. He called for the society to unite for its security by eliminating all differences, echoing what PM Modi and UP CM Yogi Adityanath have said. Listen into what the RSS chief had to say.
अब हमारे पड़ोस में ही बांग्लादेश में क्या हुआ, उसके कुछ तात्कालिक कारण और पहलू है, ये बात ठीक है, लेकिन इतना बड़ा उत्पात तो उससे नहीं होता। वो कारण उनकी चर्चा जिनका विषय है वो करें, परंतु दो बातें ध्यान में आती है। पहली बात है कि उस उत्पात के कारण वहां के हिंदू समाज पर जो अत्याचार बार बार होते हैं, उस परंपरा को फिर से दोहराया गया। पहली बार वहां का हिंदू संगठित होकर अपने बचाव में रास्ते पर आया, इसलिए कुछ बचाव हो गया, परंतु कहीं कोई गड़बड़ हो, दुर्बलों पर अपना गुस्सा निकालने की ये जो कट्टरपन की प्रवृत्ति है, वो प्रवृत्ति जब तक वहां विद्यमान है तब तक वहां की हिंदू क्या वहां के सभी अल्पसंख्यक उनके सर पे खतरे की तलवार लटकी रहेंगी। उनको आवश्यकता है मदद की। विश्व भर के हिंदुओं की भारत के सरकार की सहायता उनको मिले, ये उनकी आवश्यकता है। कि दुर्बल रहना अपराध है। हम अगर दुर्बल है, असंगठित है, तो उसका मतलब हम अत्याचार को निमंत्रण दे रहे हैं। निमित्त कुछ नहीं चाहिए, हम दुर्बल है, यह निमित्त पर्याप्त है। और इसलिए जहां कहीं भी हम हैं, वहां संगठित रहना, सशक्त रहना।
Now let's listen into reactions coming in from centrist political parties and the ones who aligns with Mohan Bhagwat's views.
ये करने वाले ही बांट रहे ना। जो लोग देश में यूनिटी चाहते हैं, वो पार्टी जो डिसयूनिटी चाहती है, उस पार्टी को सपोर्ट करने वाले आप ही हैं, भागवत जी ही हैं। पहले कहां से शुरू करें? संविधान बदलने से शुरू करें, रिजर्वेशन निकालने से शुरू करें, हिंदू मुसलमानों के बारे में अलग अलग बात की।
Yes, being weak is a crime, but dividing people on religious line is even a bigger crime, which the BJP and RSS is doing. This lecture of strengthening the Hindus is not something that is appropriate at this point of time. What is more important is you should do something to unite this nation without differences on religious, linguistic or casteist lines. That should be the right advice anybody who loves this country should be doing, rather than trying to polarize and communalize a section of society, which will be very harmful to the ethos and the pluralistic values of this country.
देखिए, अपने देश में ही हमारे देश की बेटियां सुरक्षित नहीं हैं, चाहे वो मणिपुर हो, चाहे वो हमारी पहलवान बेटियां हों, चाहे अस्पतालों में हमारी डॉक्टर हों। मेरा मानना ये है कि इधर उधर की ठेकेदारी लेने से पहले अपने देश के ऊपर काम करने की ज़रूरत है। आप बाकियों को तो तब जोड़ेंगे जब पहले आप देश जोड़ेंगे। हरियाणा के अंदर आप जाट बनाम सारी जातियों का चुनाव लड़ते हैं, गुजरात में आप पटेल बनाम सारी जातियों का चुनाव लड़ते हैं, तो आप तो खुद देश के अंदर इस तरीके का जहर घोल के चुनाव लड़ते हैं।
This is a very big statement and a very big appeal made by RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat ji. Dashera rally and what Mohan Bhagwat or the RSS chief is going to say, the world listens to it. And today is a very great statement that he has made, that the Hindus all over the world should unite. Whatever happened with the Hindus in Bangladesh cannot be tolerated.
The statement coming from Mohan Bhagwat makes it very, very important. We heard Prime Minister echoing the same sentiments and Yogi Adityanath, and now here is the RSS chief who is actually calling upon Hindus to be united and be united against atrocities. Mohan Bhagwat also went on to add that wherever the Hindus are in minority, they face atrocities, so it's a call of the time actually for them to remain united. And he also mentioned about the Bangladesh thing. Now remember, it seems now that this is the party line. This is what the BJP and RSS would be pursuing in the days and months to come. Because yesterday, when NDTV was talking to one of the hardliner leaders of BJP, of Union Minister, presently Union Minister Giriraj Singh, he is embarking on a Hindu Swabhiman Yatra, and the Swabhiman Yatra, which would actually be held in the northern parts of Bihar, which is the Kosi region of Bihar, that is, remember, the Muslim-dominated region of Bihar. He echoed the same words. His words were same. He was talking about the Hindu unity. He was talking about the atrocities against Hindus in Bangladesh. He was talking about how Hindus become victim when they are in minorities. So these are the same statement which Giriraj Singh made yesterday. Now, yesterday we were made to believe that it probably could have been his own personal agenda, because he is believed to be a hardliner Hindu leader in the union cabinet. But now, after what we have heard from Mohan Bhagwat, I'm forced to believe that now this is what the party line is, and he is simply towing the party line. He is simply acting on the dictates of BJP and the RSS.
Well, that report brought to us by our colleague Prabhakar from Patna. Now, Mohan Bhagwat also built pressure on the West Bengal government over the Arjikar rape and murder incident. He said Kolkata's Arjikar hospital incident is one of the most shameful incidents that has tarnished the entire society. Taking a jibe at Mamata Banerjee government, he said, and I quote, "The despicable efforts made by some people to protect the criminals show how the nexus of crime, politics and poisonous culture is ruining us." Here's a reaction from Trinamool Congress.
अब कलकत्ता में जो हुआ आरजीकर अस्पताल में, लज्जाजनक घटना है, हम सबको कलंकित करने वाली घटना, और ये एक नहीं है, घटना होने ही नहीं देना, इसलिए चौकन्ना रहना चाहिए, सुरक्षा देनी चाहिए। परंतु होने के बाद भी वहां जिस प्रकार से टालमटाल का प्रयास हुआ, अपराधियों को संरक्षण देने का प्रयास हुआ, ये जो अपसंस्कृति फैली है, उसके साथ अपराध और राजनीति का जो गठबंधन हो गया है, उसके ये परिणाम है।
I don't understand what Mohan Bhagwat ji wants to explain, or what he wants to narrate, or he wants to give some other angle, because he was not there in the media for so long, and I don't know what wakes him up. But actually, the BJP cannot take this. That West Bengal government is quite capable, and not to forget, Bengal administration arrested Sanjay Roy in 16 hours. Ask the RSS to go and speak about Badlapur and Ratnagiri first. Why is he interfering on his own team? I mean, this is the problem with the RSS. They want to intervene into all system. He wants to correct and rectify so many things, but he doesn't want to rectify their own team, own party. So, I don't think so. We need to take him seriously, or whatever comments he wants to give. It's a democracy. And end of the day, West Bengal government allocates 13 crore for the, medical safety upgrades. 90% of the projection is near completion. State level grievance redressal commission formed. The Chief Secretary of West Bengal, Manoj Pant, has emailed protesting junior doctors outlining the government status report on healthcare initiatives aimed at improving safety and security in the medical college across the state. I mean, the Mamata Banerjee-led TMC government in West Bengal is making significant improvements to medical college and hospital across the state as per the status report. I mean, Mohan Bhagwat ji should know everything. Half-cooked knowledge is very dangerous.
Moving on to another story, traffic is a global issue which comes at a cost. London, Singapore, Germany have a taxing system to curb traffic. Similarly, Delhi government is considering slapping a congestion tax on vehicles entering the city during peak hours from 13 major entry points along its borders in a bid to curb the traffic congestion and pollution. Government plans to collect the tax through FASTag, while two-wheelers and non-polluting vehicles, including electronic vehicles, are set to be exempted. It is not the first time that such plans have been proposed in the national capital. Earlier, there were proposals in different forms, but they did not take off. In 2018, the government proposed a proposal to levy a congestion tax on vehicles entering select roads, stretches in the national capital that see heavy traffic. In 2009, also, former Minister Sheila Dikshit had wanted to bring the charge under which all private vehicles entering the capital would have to pay an additional tax to encourage the use of public transport. My colleague Anushka joins me for more on this story. Anushka, of course, today is a holiday. There isn't much traffic on the road. There's no question of congestion. But tell us a little bit about the reactions that you are picking up at Delhi government's suggestion of slapping a congestion charge.
Well, certainly the Delhi government is planning on slapping a congestion tax over the vehicles that enter Delhi on the peak hour times, that is from 8 a.m. in the morning till 10 a.m. in the morning, and from 5:30 p.m. in the evening till 7:30 p.m. in the evening. Now, this tax primary aims at encouraging people to use more and more private vehicles and use non-polluting BS6 model vehicles, BS6 engine model vehicles. But right now what we can see is that the people in Delhi are not very much welcoming about the fact that this congestion tax will be levied upon them. Now the government's main aim to introduce this whole and implement this whole tax scheme is to encourage people to use more and more non-polluting vehicles. Also the tax that will be levied here would be on 13 points that is been marked as the most congesting points in Delhi, 13 borders in Delhi. Also this will encourage people to make their travel plans around the peak hours. Now pollution is not the only issue in Delhi that is concerning for people. Traffic congestion is also a big issue for people living in Delhi, and also we can see that a lot of congestion happens around the peak hours that happens in Delhi. Now what we can see is that the implementation faces a lot of challenge because it is right now in an advanced stage. So we can...
Anushka, I really have a question on, on who really has to give this congestion charge. Is it the people from Delhi and Haryana living in the other parts of the National Capital Region, not in Delhi, who wants to enter Delhi at certain times? They are the ones who have to pay, or even the Delhiites getting into certain areas of the city in the time that you have said have to pay as well. Is it for the people of NCR, which is Gurgaon and Noida, or for the people of Delhi as well?
Well, we can clearly see that the government is right now also considering about implementing this whole tax. But right now, what we can what we are understanding with a whole of this tax scheme is that it is primarily this primarily aims to collect taxes from people who are entering Delhi during peak hours. It can be people from NCR, it can be people from Haryana and Gurgaon also. Now we can clearly see that this implementation faces a lot of challenge in its advanced stage, because we can clearly see that the Motor Vehicle Act does not define any such charges that can be levied upon people. We can also see that the government is planning to make a certain provisional tax statutory principles around this whole tax system, and also we can see that the government is mulling over how to implement this in a very smooth manner. We are also seeing that we are also understanding that the government is planning to take this charge via FASTag and other modes, not manually, because of course we can see that manually it will create a lot of snarls in traffic. But we can clearly see that because this is inspired by other countries whose model are very much successful right now. For example, we can see in London, in Singapore and New York, these taxes have been levied upon people so that people will be encouraged to make more and more travel plans accordingly around the time of the congestion peak hours. And also we can see that the people are also very much not very much encouraged and very much inspired upon controlling the pollution, and their vehicles are also not updated as per the rules that the Delhi government has made for the people to curb pollution. But we can clearly see that a lot of challenges are on the way for the government to implement this charge. Back to studio.
Right. So if you are living in if you are living in Noida or in Gurgaon, it is still not clear if you have to pay the congestion charges while getting into Delhi at the stipulated hours. Delhi, of course, is mulling to slap this charge, and there will be several defining lines to this, and several rules will come into force if this at all comes into effect. At least 12 coaches of an express train was derailed after it collided with a goods train in Tamil Nadu's Trivallur district. Officials said the Mysore-Darbhanga Bagmati Express that collided with goods train, which was stationary, injured. In fact, the injured have been admitted to hospitals. Meanwhile, politics has erupted on the incident. DMK leader and Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister Udayanidhi Stalin said the union government should do more for rail safety. Leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi also said that centre must be held accountable for this. Listen into what the railway officials and Tamil Nadu Deputy CM had to say on this.
அருகே மைசூரிலிருந்து பீகார் மாநிலம் தர்பங்கா நோக்கி செல்கின்ற பாகுமதி எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் ரயிலும் ஒரு குட்ஸ் ட்ரெயின் சரக்கு ரயிலும் மோதிக்கொண்ட விபத்தை அடுத்து மாண்புமிகு தமிழக முதலமைச்சருடைய உத்தரவின் பேரில் சம்பந்தப்பட்ட இடத்துல அந்த அமைச்சர் பெருமக்கள் சட்டமன்ற உறுப்பினர்கள்லாம் மீட்பு பணிகளில் துரிதப்பட்ட அரசு அதிகாரிகள்லாம் மீட்பு பணிகளில் ஈடுபட்டு இருக்காங்க. விபத்து நடந்த உடனே அந்த பகுதிக்கு அந்த சம்பவ இடத்திற்கு அரசின் சார்பாக 22 ஆம்புலன்ஸ்கள் உடனடியாக அனுப்பி வைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளன. அடிபட்டவங்களில் கொஞ்சம் பேர் மீட்கப்பட்டு இருக்காங்க. இன்றைக்கி இந்த ஸ்டான்லி மருத்துவமனையில் மொத்தம் 3 பேர் இது வரைக்கும் அனுமதிக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறாங்க. இன்னும் 2 பேர் வந்துக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறாங்க. இது வரைக்கும் எந்த விதமான ஒரு உயிரிழப்பும் இல்லை. உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் ஸ்டான்லி மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி மருத்துவமனையில் தரமான ஒரு சிகிச்சை அளிக்கப்பட்டு வருகின்றது. விபத்து நடந்த இடத்துல மாவட்ட நிர்வாகம், காவல்துறை, தீயணைப்புத்துறை, மருத்துவக் குழு ஆகியவை முழு வீச்சில் மீட்பு பணியில் ஈடுபட்டு வருகின்றார்கள். மீட்பு பணிகளை மாண்புமிகு முதலமைச்சர் அவர்கள் தொடர்ந்து கண்காணித்து வருகின்றார்கள். இந்த ரயில் விபத்துகள் தொடர்கதையாவதை ஒன்றிய அரசு உடனே தடுத்து நிறுத்த வேண்டும், அதற்கான பணிகளை மேற்கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்று நான் கேட்டுக்கொள்கின்றேன்.
Now, the Haryana government swearing-in ceremony will take place on the 17th of October, which means next Saturday at 10 a.m. at the parade ground in Panchkuya. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with senior leaders and chief ministers from other BJP-ruled states, will also be present at the event. Union Minister and former Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar says that we have received the nod of the PM for 17th of October swearing-in Panchkuya. The Council of Ministers will also be sworn in. Let's listen into what the former Haryana Chief Minister, Mr. Khattar, had to say.
मान के चलना है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की परंपरा रही है, जो कहा है सो किया है, और जो किया है वही बताया है. तो इस नाते से जो बताएंगे मुख्यमंत्री जी से बताएंगे. हमारे जो विपक्ष के नेता बड़े नहा धोकर मुंह चौपड़ी करके और तैयार बैठे थे कि मैं तो अगला प्रधानमंत्री बनने वाला हूँ, वो हवा तो खिस गई.
Finally, the date for swearing ceremony for formation of Haryana government has been decided, and what we have learnt from the former Chief Minister of Haryana ML Khattar, who has already confirmed on 17th of this month, swearing-in ceremony will be taken place in Panchkula. The Panchkula administration has already been asked by the state government to make all the appropriate arrangements so that the proper program will be held. What we have learnt from other sources within the BJP, Prime Minister will be there in the swearing-in ceremony along with the other ministers of the central government. At the same time, let's see who will become the part of a cabinet of newly elected Chief Minister Nap Singh Saini. With Vijay, Rajesh Kumar, this is Group Singh China for NDTV, Chandigarh.
Time for a very tiny break on the show. More on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
RSS chief echoes PM's Hindu unity pitch. Mohan Bhagwat says, tells Hindus if we are weak, we are inviting atrocity. Mallikarjun Kharge, Congress chief says, you support a party that wants disunity. Shiv Sena says, can't tolerate what happened to Hindus in Bangladesh. The RSS chief slams Bengal government on Arjikar College incident, delays criminals protected, and even after rape and murder. This is the result of crime politics nexus. Delhi government mulls congestion tax on peak hour traffic. The proposal is for congestion tax to be implemented from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Exceptions will be given on electronic vehicles and two-wheelers. Haryana government swearing-in ceremony will take place on 17th of October. It will be attended by PM Narendra Modi to be held at Parade Ground in Panchkuya.
The moment I saw it, I thought I will have to come here.
I'm loving it. An experience to remember for a lifetime.
मुझको कैसे है पा लिया इस शहर ने, लापता था मैं पहले, अपना लिया इस शहर ने, शोर भी लगे एक दिन की तरह।
From the heart of city in Beirut, a city which is scarred by violence and caught between the crossfire between Israel and Hezbollah. A war which started a year ago between Israel and Hamas has now spilled over to Lebanon. NDTV is on the ground to bring latest updates, in-depth analysis and how the evolving war has impacted this country. Stay tuned for latest updates.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
From the heart of city in Beirut, a city which is scarred by violence and caught between the crossfire between Israel and Hezbollah. A war which started a year ago between Israel and Hamas has now spilled over to Lebanon. NDTV is on the ground to bring latest updates, in-depth analysis and how the evolving war has impacted this country. Stay tuned for latest updates.
In a world of shifting power dynamics, India stands tall as a global force. Join us at the NDTV World Summit 2024, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil his transformative vision for the India century. Be a part of a summit of thought leaders and visionaries, shaping the world's future. NDTV World Summit, October 21st and 22nd on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world.
Hello and welcome. This is India Sense. I'm Gauri Dwivedi. Let's start the show with headlines. First up, Prime Minister Modi pushes the pedal on his Act East government policy, attends the ASEAN-India Summit and the East Asia Summit, charts out a 10-point agenda for closer cooperation with the region. This comes after Prime Minister Modi visited Brunei and Singapore last month and hosted Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim.
मानना है कि 21वीं सदी एशियन सेंचुरी भारत और आसियान देशों की सेंचुरी है.
Sri Lanka's new president Anura Kumara Dissanayake reaches out to India for inclusion of the island country into the BRICS grouping. India is a founding member of the grouping. BRICS is a powerful vehicle. Voice of the Global South. AKD reaches out in an attempt to ensure Sri Lanka balances India's interests in the region. Chinese investors reject the government stimulus program. Falling confidence in Chinese economy, recent assembly wins putting to rest any speculation about political stability in India, and stable crude prices are conditions ripe for India to attract big-ticket global investments. Middle East remains on the edge. Tensions remain high. Theatre of the war expands to Lebanon as Israelis go after Hezbollah commanders in southern Lebanon region. Russian President Vladimir Putin meets his Iranian counterpart. Stage set for another US versus Russia standoff. External Affairs Minister Dr. Shashank will attend the SCO meeting in Pakistan, the first visit by Indian Foreign Minister in 9 years. With no bilaterals, will the visit lead to any possible thaw in relations? The big story on India Ascends, tensions in the Middle East. As things stand right now, stage is set for a West versus Russia standoff in this region. Israel has already expanded the war into Lebanon. It is utilizing a very unique opportunity that exists before the American election on the 5th of November. Both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have backed Tel Aviv and will continue to do so. And while President Biden's call for restraint have been few, Israel is in a position to ignore them, given the leadership vacuum that exists in America right now. It's a short window, but it does exist. But that's just half of the story. Russia's interests in the region are just as deep. And Israel has always ensured it doesn't cross Putin's red lines. Russians were informed ahead of attacks on Iran and Syria in the past. And as Israel weakens Iran, it cuts into Russian interests. A weaker Iran is good news for America, but not for the Russians. Iran and Russia are not natural allies, but they've forged deeper ties in the last decade or so and really pushed the pedal since the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, where the Russian army has used a lot of Russian drones, Iranian drones, amongst other things. And as Putin met his Iranian counterpart, Mohammad Pezeshkian, his calculus of the security framework could in fact change. Listen in first to the sound bites of Vladimir Putin and his Iranian counterpart. We come back and talk more.
отношения с Ираном носят для нас приоритетный характер.
همکاری‌های دو کشور برای ما یک اولویت است.
И они развиваются очень успешно.
هر حال اوضاع در منطقه بسیار بحرانیه و کشورهای اروپایی و آمریکایی دلشون نمیخواد منطقه آرام باشه تا بتونیم این ارتباطات رو در بستر آرامی با همدیگه ادامه بدیم.
Even as they confirm and reassure each other and the world that their bond is getting stronger, the theater of the war is now shifting. It's no more just Gaza, it's now Lebanon. Israel is going after not just people in Lebanon, but also UN peacekeeping forces. Listen into this report, take a look at this to tell how the theater of the conflict is now shifting. As tensions continue to simmer in the Middle East, the world is holding its breath. Will diplomacy prevail, or are we on the brink of disaster? A nuclear catastrophe? Netanyahu has issued an SOS to Lebanon. His chilling warning: there will be Gaza-like destruction. This as Iran-backed Hezbollah militants continue fighting Israeli soldiers on the front lines. But there's a wider conflict brewing, one which could significantly expand the theater of war and draw in both Russia and the US. Following Tehran's October 1st ballistic missile attack on Israel, precisely 180 of them Iran's oil facilities and nuclear sites are in Israel's crosshairs. Israeli retaliation could trigger a global diplomatic fallout and send oil prices through the roof. Tehran says any attack against its infrastructure will provoke an even stronger response. There have been rumors of a possible change in its nuclear policy. Moscow endorses Iranian version. It maintains Tehran's missile attack on Israel did not occur in a vacuum. As the world watches closely, the need for diplomacy has never been so pressing. All that one can hope for is cooler heads will prevail. So the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wants to alter the political map, but he also knows the red lines right now for the American government, which is that any attack on the Iranian oil fields will push up gas prices domestically, just weeks ahead of the election. So he knows that. So possibly a limited attack on military installations in Iran is more likely. But a stronger Russian support for Iran may also now be in the offing, and this could backfire for Israel. Russian military capabilities, even when it's stretched in Ukraine, can be a big bump up for the very obsolete or dated Iranian military capabilities. So that's the backdrop in which you can see a US versus Russia playing out in the Middle East. As far as India is concerned, more tensions is bad news. It's bad news for our plans for more connectivity in the resource-rich region. New Delhi's prosperity is very closely linked to the prosperity of the region. A better, integrated, peaceful region that is able to address the many fault lines that exist amongst it is good news for India, just like it's good news for the world. The first wide-angle story on the show. We are now talking about the future economic trajectory of the Indian economy. And I stick my neck out to say it's never been as good as it is right now. And I give you three key reasons and factors what is working for India. First is the poor health of the Chinese economy. The big bang mega stimulus that the Chinese government announced seems to have failed. The mega stimulus was aimed to lift the world's second largest economy, hasn't done so. The stock market seems to have suffered their worst rout since 2020. And the enthusiasm is now waning as investors expected follow-up measures to back the spending commitments that the Chinese government made. But that hasn't happened. As of now, the 2024 target of Chinese government of a 5% growth pretty much looks out of reach.
Now, the second factor that's working for India is the political stability. Ever since Prime Minister Modi's third term started, there have been motivated, some would say, reports that suggested that the government is susceptible to instability because of its reliance on allies. Now, that theory stands junked after BJP's very decisive victory in the state of Haryana. And the third factor that's working for India right now is the downward trajectory, or a very stable trajectory as far as crude oil prices are concerned. India imports 85% of its crude oil imports and needs, and the present geopolitical tensions have not had such a big bearing as far as crude oil prices are concerned, ensuring that government's finances remain under control. And all these factors will collectively act as a big push as far as attracting global investors are concerned. They need growth opportunities. They are not seeing that in China. They are seeing that in India. And the next 1 year, unless there are some major extraneous factors on which nobody really has a control on, I see the Indian economy being very uniquely placed to attract some big ticket global investments. All right, let's get the first top voice on the show. We've spoken about the economy. Let's get in the WTO chief economist, Mr. Ralph Osa, on the show to first talk about the kind of growth estimates the WTO, the World Trade Organization, has for 2024 and 2025. Mr. Osa. What are the findings, sir?
We predict the volume of merchandise trade to grow by 2.7% this year and 3.0% last year, which is only a small change from our April forecast. But what has changed is the regional composition. Europe is weaker than we expected, and Asia is stronger than we expected, but overall it balances out. Services trade growth is also strong. We don't have a forecast, but the data that we have seen already for the first quarter of 2024 were very strong, indicating a growth in services trade by 8%.
You mentioned Asia is doing better than you had expected. So could you give us some breakup about India as far as the Asia pie is concerned?
We expect Asia to be the strongest performing region, with Asian exports growing by 7.4% this year and 4.7% next year. We don't have a specific forecast from India, but or for India, but from the data that we have seen, India is expected to be very strong, both on the import side as well as on the export side. And part of the reason is also that India is increasingly functioning as one of these connector countries between China and the United States, for example, as firms are trying to diversify out of China.
Okay, you mentioned US. It is the world's largest economy. There have been concerns about a possible recession. Does the WTO share those concerns?